New
you.
Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Awesome. Good morning. Kobina, good
Hi,
morning.
hello, how are you?
Good. Where are you joining us from?
I'm actually in London, in North London,
Nice.
and very nice to meet you. And is it Tama?
Yes, Tama is
Tama,
right.
hi. Hey, so yeah, I've been following your posts and your videos, and yeah, really, really very informative, excellent work you're doing. Um,
Oh,
yeah, no, really, really pleased to meet you in person, as it were.
oh,
Yeah,
awesome. You know,
great.
I must tell you the truth. Sometimes I wonder, is
Yeah.
it reaching the right people?
Well,
So,
definitely, definitely. I'd say, well, I don't know who it's reaching because you have those figures, I think, but certainly the message is very, very, very good. The content is really, really useful. I saw the interview with John Rosenberg. That was, yeah, very, very, very useful, very good, very informative. Timing couldn't have been better, um, because he's advising Biden, isn't he? So yeah,
yes,
so that was very good. I mean, yeah, the content is great, really, really good. Happy, really happy to meet you. Look forward to sort of like collaborating with you.
fantastic. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how many people we'll have today. Usually,
Okay.
I just want to hold space,
Yeah.
because we have so many people on the platform. We have so many people
Sure.
following this work.
Yeah.
But I know people reach out and DM each other, but I just want to hold this space.
Yeah.
So, for people to join in as they
Yes.
want and connect with one another because we have so many things planned out this
Yeah.
year. And that's what I wanted to share today.
Okay.
Um, Tama has been with us for a while. She's one of the
Hey.
early adopters. And
Okay.
hello.
This young man might be interrupting us, so I'm
No,
just
you're
letting you
fine.
know
You're
everybody.
fine.
So
I
you can
have
say
I
hello.
have I have those as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right then. Okay.
Fantastic.
I'll call you back in a minute. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So,
No, no, you got a
um,
busy year. You were saying.
yeah, so we have so many programs planned for this year,
Yeah.
and there's also some adjustments.
Yeah.
So part of what I've realized is that we started out bringing people together through our events and Trade with Africa Summit, and we do different things. But over the years, what is now clear is that just bringing people together is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have to coach people through the process of business engagement.
Right.
We also have to train people through export development, market entry, business. Like what I come from working for the world's largest company, and there's a level of excellence and there's a level of rigor
Mm.
that I'm used to.
Yeah.
In terms of the sophistication of global markets, in terms of global sourcing, I used to manage that and merchandising. Like it's it's highly sophisticated.
Sure.
So what I've now realized is leaving that space and saying, okay, I want to try and see how I can help bring, Africa into mainstream global markets and all of those things. Because in that world, I wasn't seeing
Mm-hmm.
um Africa as a commercial conversation about trade with Africa. But to be
Yeah.
honest with you, in the last couple of years, I know why, I haven't seen the level of maturity that world requires. I've not seen
Yeah.
the level of excellence that is required. And that's why 2020 for me was
Sacrifice.
sacrifice. Tama. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Tama knows I've been on her as well. Like I
Right.
know Tama has some stories where I was like, Tama, what are you doing? And she showed me what she was doing. I was like, no, Tama, no, no,
Mm.
no, that's not, you've got to structure this thing properly. So for me, 2020 was listening. Was I coached several people privately. I delivered several training to political leaders, to private sector people, and I realized, my goodness, I need to invest more in this
Okay.
space because I want us to trade. But if we don't know what the rules of engagement is,
Yeah.
nothing is happening.
I, so trade is a big subject at the moment because of AFCFTA. So we've got the intra Africa angle.
Mhm.
We've got the trade between, parties outside and the continent.
Mhm.
And then you've got the diaspora continent angle. You've got all sorts of issues. And I was just wondering, what is your focus? And when you say, I want people to trade, really, who are you looking at? Is it people trading
It's
with
all of
Hacker,
the
or
above.
it's all
It's
of them?
all of the
Right,
above.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
which also shows you've not taken one of my classes.
No, I haven't. You see,
Okay.
I should actually, I mean, if you want, in 5 minutes, I'll explain
Yes,
why I've
yes,
come to
please.
this call, actually.
Please.
I was actually sitting here having a little play with this little man here,
Yeah.
and then my screen flashed up saying, join the conversation. So I wasn't sure whether it was happening now, but I thought I better just click on and see, because it was the first one of those I've received. So I clicked on it, and of course I got sent through. So I'm here now, but I wasn't actually planning on joining. But I'm happy that I have.
I'm glad you joined.
Thank you very much. I sent you a LinkedIn message about 3 days ago because I was getting the emails for some reason, but I hadn't actually connected with you on LinkedIn. So I sent you an invitation about 3 or 4 days ago. You've obviously not seen it yet. But just by way of background, I'm Ghanaian, British, dual national, and I'm a lawyer and qualified in both jurisdictions. And I was in Ghana. Well, I spent my whole life between the two countries. And then 8 years ago, I went to Ghana, and that's when I did the Ghana bar. And then I was working and practicing out there until about February this year. I came to the UK just to do a short-term contract. But then because of the pandemic, I got stuck here. So my partner, my wife and baby joined me here, and we're working out as we go along. But whilst I've been here, I've been working for in a role which I think really isn't me, because my heart and my passion is in Africa. And so I'm kind of slightly conflicted. I'll do the job because I have to do the job. But really, I've got so many thoughts about what I need to do, either here, engaging with issues going on back home, or heading back home eventually.
Ghana is a great, you're lucky you're from Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana is really, really structured right now at this moment. Is really well structured and well positioned for anybody that wants to participate. So that's a good one for you. I think what the opportunity is for you is understanding what the landscape looks like and finding where your skills and where you can plug in. Right? That's usually what I'm finding, is that there's a lot of talk about trade. In fact, it's saturated with so much conversation, but the struggle people are going to have is who is actually going to show you how to be a part of this, how to use your skills, how to engage, how to structure deals. What does it look like? And that's why, for me, we're ahead of most people. That's what we're already saying, that we're walking through people through how, because my focus is at the end of the day to have transactions. Our focus is to increase trade, not just to talk about it, but to actually grow an elite group of people that can actually structure deals that make sense for the continent and for themselves. That's really everything that I do, everything that we do. That's the goal, and we always, that's our north pole or north star, is all the activities that we do, AFCFTA Roundtable, Trade with Africa Summit, this network, all of it is all about increasing the number of transactions. Because when you think about the numbers, they're very low. What people are not doing is asking why. Why is it low? And for me, the reason it's low, there's several things at play, but one of it is that we don't have we don't have the right people with the right skill sets, with the right level of understanding of global markets to actually jump in and make sense of all of this. It's like what I say, the California gold rush, right? You could hear about the gold rush. You could move into town, But if you don't dig for gold, if you don't have the right equipment, if you don't if you don't pan for gold, all you're going to be doing is talking about it.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying is I want to move people away, move people past just the talking, just the talking side,
Sure.
to, you know, getting into the weed and rolling up their sleeves and figuring this out. That's so to your earlier question in terms of which area are we covering, I like to say intra and global.
Sure.
And for those that have taken some of my classes and listened to other things, I always talk about there are 3 markets people need to be aware of: the local market, the regional market, and the global market. And the rules of engagement are different. So for local, I'm here in the US. The local market for me is US market. For those in Ghana, for those in Nigeria, for those in Egypt, their country is their local market. What AFCFTA does for the people in Africa is it opens you not just to your local market, but to your regional market. So cross-border transaction. So for US, for example, the local market is Canada. The regional thing is Canada, Mexico, right? Regional. Now, the global market now goes beyond your region, where you start talking about global trade. So those are the simple ways I try to get people to understand that doing business in your local market is buying and selling, right? That's straightforward. Then when you start moving regional, cross-border, cross-country, things, the rules change. It has to change.
The rules change,
But what I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing,
go on,
but what I'm seeing is that people that are maybe they've won in their local market, they're showing up regional and global to the global stage with the same skills they use in their local market.
And the same assumptions and expectations, and the rules are different.
But they, that's
I mean, it's. I think when you started talking about rigor, you know, you're absolutely right. And I recently ran something past a really experienced and skilled advisor, and said to him that I wanted his team to help me with some advice on it. And so I just gave him a summary of it, and he said, "Look, Kobina, that's too complicated." He said it's too complicated for Africa, which I thought he was right, but then I thought actually he's right. But no, why is it that we assume that anything that you do in Africa has to be simple? You know, the same rules apply. So if we're going to do something complex, let's get the rigor in place and let's do it properly. You don't just say, oh, it's too complicated for us. So you end up with approximations all the time. We have to get used to doing things in detail, thoroughly, robustly. And it's not, I think we often think that is the domain of the Europeans or the white people. That's how they do it. We do things differently. No, it's done that way because it's the only way that things work. You need precision.
Right.
You need precision. And so I'm totally with you on the rigor point. And you know.
Right. So there's one class that I've delivered to, I mean, representatives from more than 14 African countries. I've delivered it multiple times, and as my Christmas gift to the Trade Network, I actually dropped it free. I dropped it, but people don't know I dropped it free there, and I say, hey, you know, here's the Trade and Investment Facilitation Masterclass in this network. Everybody needs to take that class, and it's about a 3-hour class. I've delivered it in different places, so it goes from 2.5 to 3 hours.
I didn't know. Sorry, you go on.
Yeah, depending on the types of Q&A and questions that group of people come up with. So it's gone from 2.5 to 3 hours. But one of the things I had to share, I started with something like trade versus aid, right? Because a lot of people don't understand the distinctions, that a lot of engagement or currently on the continent is driven through the aid lens, whether it's UK aid or US aid, and that lens has its place, but it's not a game changer for the continent. So I start that class with explaining why. I talked about digital disruption, and then one of the things I also talked about to your question was stakeholder engagement. Who are the stakeholders that as you embark on this journey, you're going to encounter, right? Investors, policymakers, buyers, exporters, trade experts. Like I listed all of those things out, and I tried to run through one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is that they have the wrong conversation with the wrong type of stakeholder. So going to an investor, for example, and say, "Oh, I need an investment," right? It sounds simple, but that statement is all just like begging for money.
Yeah.
It's like, "Give me money, I need money," right?
Yeah.
That's not what they're, or help Africa.
Yeah.
That's the aid language. And I take people through saying, why don't you try something as simple as saying, I have an investment opportunity that I want to share with you that I would like you to take a look at. That piques their interest.
Yeah.
That puts you in a power position. That
Yeah.
puts you in a position of engagement, of equal engagement, because you're saying you have what they're looking for. They're always looking for investment opportunities. And if you say, I have an investment opportunity, I just want to run by you, you're going to get a meeting with that person. But if you go to them and say, hey, I want you to invest in me, they're like, what? I don't know you.
Hang on a second. I don't know you. Why should I throw so much money at you? You're not even talking about any kind of return for me. You're just saying, give me money.
That's what I see. Those are the things I'm saying. Gosh, if you would just take time to change this mindset shift, just these small things, that's what determines who's successful and who's not.
I was in Ghana, and I'm sorry, Tama, if you want to speak. It's just me and Toyin are hogging the space. But when I was in Ghana for the past 8 years. I've been backwards and forwards. But in the past 8 years, I worked with a number of foreign investors, normally Europeans coming over and working on projects over there. And I think what struck me was that the attention to detail that they paid. So one of them, for example, was they were developing a plantation, a massive plantation. They used to boast that they planted one tree for every, or they were about to plant one tree for every Ghanaian citizen, i.e. 30 million trees. That was their agenda. But they knew down to, the very last tree, what their asset base was. They could tell you the age of the trees, the dimensions of the trees, how many would be felled this year, the next year, what that could yield by way of the branches, the trunks, whatever. They had every single detail. And they'd go to meetings with investors, with other investors, and they'd be asked 100 questions in the morning, and they had an answer at their fingertips for every single question.
Yeah.
And when I saw our guys perform, we were less prepared.
Of course. That's what we call in retail, we say know your numbers. Like that's you have to be walking around, you have to embody that knowledge. Because at any point in time, an opportunity can present itself. And you cannot say, oh, I'll be right back.
I'll get back to you on that one. Next question, please.
Next, right. So okay, so that's one dimension. So for the masterclass, so what I've actually even now done in my head is creating a growth path for different kinds of people. Because there's people I'll call trade facilitator. I think you fit into that space where you're not the buyer, you're not the seller, you're not the investor, you're not the investee or whatever, if I can say it, or the business they want to invest in. You are a go-between bringing those transactions together. So I've mapped out somebody like yourself. What do you need to become more successful as a trade facilitator?
Sure.
Okay. Now, we've also now created like a growth map for people that they're actually the exporter or they're actually the buyer. Because what we've also found is that even the African exporter or the US exporter is coming into this conversation with the wrong mindset, thinking it's overnight. Someone just reached out to me and was like talking. I was like, you know what? Their relation, nobody buys from you just because you called them and you had a 5 minutes conversation with them. It's not happening. usually it's almost like a genie bottle. You have to cultivate those relationships sometimes for months.
Yeah.
Because I tell people we only do business with people we know and we trust.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not happening. Like big, it may be small transactions that there's
Yeah.
really nothing involved, but the ones we're saying is imagine that is at hand, people don't just sign things like that. They don't just you they have to know you, they have to trust you. You have
Yeah.
to have a level of due diligence and background,
Mm.
you know, that makes people do business with you at that level.
Mm.
So even the lady that called me and was like, Tony, what should I do? I was like, okay, here's the reason I'm trying to coach people. Every time you engage with people, you are being assessed.
Right.
You know, people are trying to gauge
Mm.
who you are, where to put you, where to rank you, right? Okay. One of my mentee from Kaduna just joined.
Oh, great.
Okay. Hi, Adisa. Okay, she's not here with video. Can you hear us, Adisa? Okay, she'll join. So it's like everybody's being assessed
Yeah.
where they're at. So part of the coaching aspect is how do you position yourself and your services such that you're going to pass the test?
Mm.
Because every
I can,
time you can hear us now.
yeah, I can.
Awesome, awesome. Good. So part of what I was saying was, you know, anytime you engage with anybody right now,
Yeah.
they're going to Google your name.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
who, you know, who is this? Adesa, do you want to mute your phone? We're engaging now. Awesome. Thank you. So they're going to check, do first of all, a minimal check on you, your business. They're going to check everywhere. Who knows you? What have you done before? Right? Before they say, okay, is this somebody I need to engage with?
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't have a footprint. You're
Sure.
like, you're like, so why should they engage when there's really nothing there's nothing of substance they can
Mm.
see of you out there, or there's nobody they could have talked to that could tell them,
Validate you. Yeah.
validate. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what's different this year. So what we've now done with the community is, for me, instead of just telling people attend training, attend this event over and over again, I've now created different groups to say, okay, every month I will show up for the community. I'll do one training each month. I'll do one business coaching, which is a group coaching each month. And then I'll do this community chat, you know, each month. So
Okay.
the second Friday, third Friday, and fourth Friday of each month, I
Mm.
would make myself available to community members that are signed up at the premium level, because we have to grow. Like,
Okay.
that's my conclusion. We have to grow.
Okay.
And Tama and Adisa, I've invested privately on them, and I've tested it out.
Yeah.
And I've seen the transformation and the growth and
Okay.
the things they're able to do differently. And now I'm saying, okay, I need to scale that up to the community. So so that's why in the event section, you would see the list of recurring events. So the second Friday of every month, we'll have the community chat. So more people will join because we have hundreds of people. I'll find a way to keep reminding people.
Yeah.
So it's going to do a couple of things. You get to know one another, because
Yeah.
people are already doing business on the group.
Yeah.
You know, like
Sure.
Tema, Adisa, I see them, they're
Yeah.
already doing things together.
Sure.
So you can also meet other people you could
Yeah.
connect with, do business with, learn from. So that's why we have, I think, that community chat, this one would grow. And then next week, for example, I'm having the first class for this year. And
Mm.
what I'm calling it is how to grow a globally relevant brand. And
Mm.
it's like, it's an overkill in the sense that I'm putting a whole lot in that inside that class: business development, export development, market entry, shipping. I'm putting everything in there, but I'm like, because I'm saying you guys have to know all of these things. You
Yeah,
have to know.
yeah.
So that's next week. And then the week after that, we'll talk about events and coaching, which is more bring your questions. I do private coaching with people. Like after this call, like I have to run to another one, but I do one-on-one coaching. But I also know that not everybody has the funds to do that. So that's why the group coaching thing, that's where it came from. But for me, I know people want to skip this step and just go in, but I've spent years assessing the people, the interest that people are showing, and I'm realizing that a lot of people want to be a part of trade and investments, but we have to up our game to increase our successes. We have to do personal development. We have to understand the way the landscape is. Um, and Tema, Adisa, you guys can jump in as well. Like so far, going into the from last year, going into this year, what are your thoughts? Tema, you're on mute. Oh, did we lose Tema? Adisa, do you want to come on?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to show your video or no? Are you driving?
I can. No problem.
Okay.
I'm actually
Awesome.
on the way.
Okay, awesome.
Now
Hello,
that's your
Hadiza. Hello there.
hello. Hello,
Ah,
Mr.
you
Kobina.
got a full car.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's by the way joining us from Kaduna, northern Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Hadiza.
Same here, Mr. Kobina.
Go on.
Well done. I was supposed to get back to you actually, but I actually informed Tema earlier, just a few minutes ago, about my second order.
Wow.
For the one of January I talked to you about.
Yeah.
I've come up with about 3 collections, 3 designs so far, and I actually got that connection via Nazaru. That's a network platform. Yes. So so far so good. The growth is just awesome.
Wow. So just for Kabina, you may not understand the background. You joined the community a couple of weeks ago, and you've already started doing business and buying, you're a fashion designer, you've started exporting already.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And then you advised me on the catalog thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to a large extent, Uche, that's my business partner, she's in Texas. It's like a stepping stone for her as well, because as soon as I forwarded the catalog to her, she was extremely excited.
Fantastic. So what Adiza is trying to explain is I actually walked her through a new way of positioning a brand through creation of a catalog. Okay. So she didn't have that before. So I walked her through, okay, why don't you just put this together like a collection? Yeah. Why don't you just do this? And anybody that makes an inquiry, you can just send it to them. And immediately she jumped into it, and that's working for it. So it's already having impact.
Instant results.
What did you say, Adisa?
The catalog has made everything easier for me and for her as well. And for a whole lot that are like going to come into partnership with me in terms of kids' clothing line.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Adisa. That's really good.
Yeah. So those are the things where privately, I've been working with people individually with their businesses and saying, hey, you've got to do it this way. If you want to really go global, you've got to build that foundation. Like you can't keep going all over the place. So now she literally has a PDF catalog. Anybody that makes an inquiry right now, she just sends it to them to take a look. And then I also shared with her because I used to manage apparel merchandising for Walmart. So it's like I'm trying to grow her. She's still growing, right? But there's so many other things she has to do. But this is like another step in the right direction where, maybe every season she comes up, she refreshes that catalog. And, so there are just some interesting things that I'm helping her. And she represents what's possible, because there are also other groups of fashion designers on the continent that I'm involved in. But I want us to make sure that we're standardized. So this is part of standardization, right?
Sure.
The moment you start, like if you're in Nigeria, it's like local. When she does her business in a local market, people come into our store, she measures them and she does whatever. I'm like, no, the moment you start engaging with people that are not there with you, regional market or global market, you've got to structure things differently. And as a small business, right, she's listened. I mean, one of the things I also look for people that are coachable. Adisa is extremely coachable, and anything I tell her, immediately she implements it, she tests it out, and she's reaping the benefit right there in Kaduna. Like she doesn't have to leave Kaduna. She's already part of the global market, and she's already like she can I share, like, you exported, is it you did like 8,000 face masks? Like she started small, but she's going to grow. She's going to keep growing as well.
Well, congratulations. That's really impressive.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kovina.
Okay.
Awesome. So remember, next week is that class where we're going to share more in terms of big picture, export development, all of those things. So remember, it's next week, Friday, Adisa.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Tema, we couldn't hear you before. So Tema wants to jump in. I saw your chat, Tema. Can you try? You need to unmute. Tema, she texted us that can we hear her? We can't, Tema. Uh-oh. What's going on?
I think she's still on mute, isn't she?
Yeah, you're still on mute. Unmute, let me type. Something is wrong. I can't unmute. Do you want to close your screen and then join again? I'll admit you again. Maybe something on your computer or your phone. Yeah, I'm glad she typed. Okay, I'll try. She said she'll try that. So she's going to shut it down and then join again. I think she has a lot of good news to share as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Just whilst she's reconnecting, I'm really sorry. As I said, I didn't really expect to come straight in on the call, but I'm really happy that I did. Really happy to meet you in person, to meet Hadiza and also Tema. I think that maybe I'd like to have a quick chat with you before we go much further, Toyin.
Sure.
I don't know whether we do that by phone or whatever. I mean, I can send you by LinkedIn my WhatsApp number.
Yes.
And then I can work out how I fit in with your program, what courses to do, and what forums to join as well. So I'd really value just a 10-minute conversation with you.
Absolutely. Because I mean, just for me, just like I say, everybody assesses. It's from what I'm hearing from you, you have a whole lot to offer.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's just finding, it's a fast moving train. At what point do you jump on? Like which cabin which one do you belong to? So you can move with the that's what I think has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd really benefit from a chat with you. I mean, I was in Ghana for the past 8 years. I've worked with governments of both of the main parties. I know the ministers in both sides. Worked with a lot of civil servants. I worked at one of the main utilities, got lots of friends in the utility sector, done a lot in power. So I think I've got a good understanding of Ghana. It's how I actually channel.
And there's somebody right now, there's somebody, a member that you have to connect with. Okay. You have to connect with him. He's right here in Chicago.
Okay.
And he's really well connected in the current party as well, and he usually helps coordinate a lot of the travels, like when the vice president or something comes to the US, he's usually helping to coordinate with the party leaders and all of that to host them here in the US. So he's definitely a member that you both of you need to know each other. Yeah.
Okay, well, so we can do that.
Awesome. Thank you for joining.
That's no, really good to meet you. Hadiza, I look forward to speaking with you again.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot more people out there. You know, you connect with them over time.
Okay, I'll send you a phone number by WhatsApp, by LinkedIn.
Right. Okay, and in the system, you can actually DM. Many people don't know. You. Right in the system, in the network. There's actually like a chat box. You can look up my name and send me a direct message.
Brilliant. Okay, then look forward to that.
Bye. Take care now. Awesome.
Bye. Bye, Hadiza.
Okay, so we're waiting for Tema to join again.